All right, community. This is Alfred Logan, your general manager, and Clint Summers, our director of code enforcement. Today, we're going to do an episode of genuine discussions with the GM. And Clint, if you can start off by just telling us how long have you worked for the association?
Yeah, I've worked for the association for a little bit more than 10 years. I started out as a public safety part-time officer. Eventually, I moved over to become a dispatcher, dispatch supervisor, and a couple of years ago, I switched over to become the director of code enforcement.
Awesome. So let's talk about some code enforcement things and maybe some misconceptions that some residents have. So, what is the difference between a courtesy notice and a citation?
A courtesy notice is something that we send to a resident to let them know that during our patrols we observed some kind of violation and letting them know and putting them on notice that there's something that they need to correct. It'll typically have a specific time frame that they need to correct it by. If they don't correct it by the deadline, that's when a citation will be sent. A citation is to tell the residents that they potentially have a fine once the board rules on the citation.
Gotcha. So, what would you say the time frame for most violations are?
The typical time frame would be 30 days for most violations. There are some exceptions, things like trash cans, unsightly items in your front yard, or weeds that'll have a typical shorter time frame, more like 2 weeks kind of thing.
Gotcha. So we get a lot of questions on this one right here. What's the difference between a citation and a determination letter?
I'm glad you asked because we do get a lot of people who ask this question. So once you get a citation in the mail, it means that you are potentially going to get a fine. Even if you fix the item afterwards, in the past at least, you would then get a determination letter after the fact, meaning the board has ruled on that previous citation and whatever fine they feel you were supposed to get. With some recent rule changes in the law, anything that is fixed and verified by staff before the determination letter, though, will now be closed without a fine.
Awesome. Can you describe what the process is for appeals and citation and architectural items?
Yeah. To appeal something for the architectural committee, it means that you've submitted a plan that's gone to the committee that they have denied. They typically will give you a recommendation on what you need to do to resubmit, but if you feel whatever they're asking is unfair, you can appeal to them with your reasonings, and they will reconsider their decision. If you still don't like their decision after that, you can still appeal to the board of directors, but after that point, you're kind of out of luck. It's similar process to for any citations that residents want to appeal. There is a committee called the Citation Review Committee that there are specific timeframes on the citation that if you talk to us and saying you want to appeal to that committee, we will send your appeal to that committee to make a recommendation to the board of directors. Otherwise, your appeal will go to the board and they will decide if they want to reduce or remove. We strongly encourage that whenever you're appealing a citation, you appeal once it's in compliance. It gives you the best chance to get a reduced or removed fine.
Awesome. So I have to ask this question. Do you get any bonuses or any incentives when it comes to writing citations?
That's funny. No, we don't get any additional bonuses or incentives or anything like that for any citations we send. Our main goal is compliance. We don't get anything extra for sending the fines or getting residents to pay us money.
So if you wrote 100 citations this week, your leadership doesn't give you a pizza party or anything?
No, we don't get anything like that. The only recognition we get is our citation review committee will see we've been doing our jobs.
Awesome. So one of the other things that I want to know is let's say a resident has received a notice that they just feel is not right. Mm-hmm. How do they get in touch with you? How do they follow a more of an organizational chain of command so that if they felt that something that they've received, whether it was a citation or they thought it was just very petty, like one resident said online, I had one weed. Do you guys write citations for one weed?
Typically, no, we don't send them for one weed. Typically, it'll be multiple. Uh-huh. That being said, if they have a very large weed, it might be a different story at that point.
One weed could be the size of me. So yes. I get what you're saying. How can they reach out to you by email, or how would you like them to get in touch with you as the manager of this code enforcement department? How would you like our residents to get in touch with you?
They can get a hold of me at my email, csummers, SUMMERS, @svla.com. Or if you want to have something addressed by any of my team, you can send it to code@svla.com. All of us will get back to you in one way or another and try to address whatever your issue is. You can also send your appeals to that email as well. Finally, you can also call us during our hours Tuesday through Friday, 7:30 to 6 at 760-245-9756.
Awesome. Well, Clint, I want to thank you for your time to our community. Please let us know what subjects you want to hear about. We're going to be interviewing residents. We're going to be talking to staff. We're going to do our best to help inform you so that you know what's going on and you completely understand how the association works. You can send your requests for topics to info@svla.com, and we will be talking to you soon. Make it a great day.